Welcome to the Budget Mom YouTube channel. I'm Miko Love from thebudgetmom.com. Ryan's back. Hi. She made it. Well, I know we haven't posted to YouTube in a while just because we've had a hard time getting Ryan here into Spokane just because of all of the winter storm advisory warnings and storms.
There's snow. There's a lot.
We got up to a foot the last time, which was
last week
when you were trying to fly over. And then last night she made it, but we still got another 3 or 4 inches. So good old Spokane, Washington. We're here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be doing a full October budget recap just because we fell behind. We're a little bit late on some of our recaps. Next week, on Saturday, we're going to post our November budget recap. And this month, we're also going to be posting another real life budget. Perfect. So YouTube update. So October was crazy because if you haven't heard, if you don't know, if you haven't been following along, I got married September 10th. Woohoo! October was a huge traveling month for us. Mm-hmm. We had Arizona, which was my husband.
It's still so weird hearing you say that.
My husband, he played as one of the main pitchers, and he was a player, an outfielder down there for a World Series baseball tournament, which was really cool. And then we had our honeymoon in October where we went to Florida and did Disney World for 5 days, which was crazy. We did 4 parks in 5 days and visited NASA.
You got your steps
in that
in.
Girl, I got my steps in. I think we averaged, it was at least 17,000.
Probably close to 20, I'd say.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Man.
It was crazy.
Little workout.
And I felt a little ill.
That's right, you were sick.
I felt a little ill on that Wednesday of my own honeymoon.
Right.
But we made it work. We had fun.
Yeah, you powered through too.
So you're going to be seeing some definite spending for me in October. I think that was my only major real thing that happened in October, which were big things.
Yeah. My dog had surgery, and I wasn't expecting that. Well,
what happened to what?
He had that ear. I think I mentioned it on our last recap, but he had this. The vet called it a tumor, but tumor to me just sounds dramatic and bad, so I called it an abscess.
Yes.
Growing in his ear, and it ended up being benign, which is good. We sent it off to get tested, but we just had to get it removed. We tried doing like a topical cream first to see if that would take it away. It didn't work, so we took it off, and it cost me $1,700.
This is why having a pet emergency fund is so important.
Oh yeah, and I didn't have one, and I don't have pet insurance, but like my dog has never been, he doesn't go to the vet. Like this was maybe his surgery is maybe his 3rd time ever to the vet, and he's 6. Yeah. He's never had any health issues. Like knock on wood that he doesn't have any more, but this just made me really reevaluate things because of how expensive it is and how quick it is, and like he's my baby, so I don't care.
Right, and not only are they family members, but especially if you're a rescue person. Like I'm a rescue. I will only do rescues and adoptions. And the thing with a rescue is you don't have any health history.
Right.
Sometimes you don't even know the breed.
Yeah,
the breeds that he is, which can kind of determine also what kind of health issues you might get as they get older.
Right.
You know, old age, all these things. Like Toby's only 2. So like you, we haven't been to the vet very often. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, he has some allergies that causes us to spend more on things like food. Mm-hmm. But I did have another rescue dog before I had Toby with my ex-husband. Mm-hmm. His name was Rocco. He needed 2 hip replacements because he had hip dysplasia. Yeah. He was a bigger breed dog.
Dogs,
we didn't know exactly what breed he was, but he needed 2 hip surgeries. Guess how much that threw us out?
Probably
$12,000.
Probably $5,000 a surgery.
$12,000 is what it was to have him have somewhat of a normal life where he wasn't in pain with his hips when he was walking and running.
Sad. Yeah, it's so sad.
And granted, he lived 9 years after that.
Oh, good.
He was, I think Rocco made it all the way up until he was 16.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's long
right,
for a dog.
right. And so But that taught me the lesson you just learned with Brock.
Oh, yeah.
Is that even with the healthiest of dogs, even if, you know, you never think they're young, they're not going to need any type of special care until they get older, anything can happen. I have pet insurance through Nationwide. Right. That's who I use, just for the pure fact that I knew what happened with Rocco.
Right. Yeah, that's smart. That's smart.
But I'm slowly building up my pet fund to get rid of the pet insurance so I can just rather have a pet emergency fund rather than paying the monthly premium for the health insurance.
Right. And you haven't gotten him tested to see what breeds he is.
We haven't.
We got Brock tested, so we know what he is.
Okay, I should probably do that.
It's fun. Like, it explains a lot about them. Like, Brock has a black tongue. It's the craziest thing. And we've figured out, we think it's because he has a Kita in him. Okay. Which is just absurd. But
I mean, we know Toby is a doodle of some sort because he doesn't shed and he's hyperallergenic. But we also know he's other things because he has a lot of things that aren't doodle-like.
Right.
And I'm not talking about just personalities, but also his looks. Like, he has these really weird brown spots on him. Yeah. There's just, he doesn't have the same facial structure as most doodles.
Yeah, that's true.
So we know he's something else. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, it's fun. It explains their personality, too.
Yeah, so let's get into our full October budget recap, where our dollars went and where we are with our financial goals. So this is my October category breakdown, my budget category breakdown. So my total monthly inflow, very, very high, $19,000. Let me explain. So I had a starting balance of $2,200, earned income, my paycheck, of $5,100, other income of $725, savings used, $11,050. Yes. So in October, we had our honeymoon, which was paid for by the gifts that we received for our wedding, and our vacation savings was used for this as well. So you can see here, like, if it's in green, I was under my budget for the month, and if it's over, I was in red.
Wow.
I did really good. Yeah. Yes. And so you can see, obviously, 59% of my inflow went towards the fun and entertainment, and that's where I placed my vacation spending. But the rest of the stuff, you know, I was under $414 for food that month. I was traveling. Yep. And like, same with like gas. I only spent half my gas budget because I wasn't driving. But overall, I think the biggest thing there is definitely that fun and entertainment. You can see was 59% of my spending for the month. Saved 12%, which was still really good for me. And then I still did my normal $800 for investing. For my monthly investments and savings breakdown, so with my investments, you can see now in the debt-free version of the Budget by Paycheck workbook, this is the new PDF debt-free version on budgetbypaycheck.com. You can see now we got rid of debt and we replaced this section with investments. So out of my inflow, I invested $800, and that's about 4% of my inflow. I had $200 go to our new brokerage joint account, $500 to 529, and $100 to my brokerage individual. For savings, in my savings income, I don't include any savings used, so I was able to save about 29% of my income. And that went towards sinking funds, the $5 challenge, vacation, and I'm filling up that pet fund.
Yeah, is that what you're focusing on?
That's what I focused in October, was trying to increase this emergency pet fund so I can get rid of my pet insurance.
Yeah, good idea, Miko.
Yeah. So here's another thing. This is my monthly spending comparison. I had an inflow change of an increase of around $5,600. That's because I traveled to 2 different places in October. Yeah. And you can see that here in this fun and entertainment. See, it's red because I spent more this month than last month by $10,000.
Wow, yeah.
So if you see it in red, I spent more than last month. And if it's in green, I spent less than. So in September, we put the $5,000
That's right.
towards our joint account when we got married in September. So I was obviously less than because I didn't do it in October. But big one was that $10,000 there. But I did have increase in other, you know, things. Health and beauty, I spent more this month. Spent $683 more this month for savings. That's always good.
That is good. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that is my October budget breakdown.
So here is my October monthly budget category breakdown. I started the month with $333. Earned income, which is my paycheck, was $4,471. Other income was $200. Savings use $1,500, which I'll explain. It's for my total monthly inflow to be $6,505. This $1,500 used was from my emergency fund, because you can see here $1,750 for the month of October is what I spent on the dog. He had that surgery that I was talking about, and we also had to refill his Apoquel. We still are having to do that. So that definitely took a hit, which is why moving forward, I'm focusing on saving and not so much debt right now, which you can see here. I only put $450 towards debt, which is still great. It's a great amount, but I put more towards savings, which usually it's flipped. But I want to build up my emergency fund to more than what it was, because now I see how quickly things can happen. Other than that, though, it wasn't too bad. I did spend some more in personal. My mom came up for a little bit and I wanted to take her out, and I just cash flowed that. I just worked it into my budget for the month of October. Let's see. My brother's birthday was also in October. I don't even know how old he turned. 20, 30, 32? 32. Cody and I just took him out to dinner and we did some stuff downtown. That was $200, which I had a sinking fund for, which is the $200 other income, which I guess I should have put here, but that works too. But yeah, other than that, everything else wasn't too bad. Brock's, my dog's surgery, was just the heavy hitter for this month. All right, so here's my monthly debt and savings breakdown, and I'm also using the new version, but unlike Miko's, mine has debt still, while hers is investments. So I put about 7% of my total monthly inflow to debt, $441 towards my student loan, and then that credit one monthly fee. And then over to savings, I saved about 13%, which is more than I usually do. I was able to save some from my savings challenge. This was before everything with my dog happened. And then the rest, I just threw into my emergency fund, and that's what I'm going to continue doing until it's at an amount that I'm still playing with the amount. If I'm being honest, I haven't really set an amount yet, but all I know is it needs to rebuild back up to where it was, plus some. So there's that. Okay, and here's my monthly spending comparison. So comparing October to September, everything with the green dot here just shows that I spent less in October. So less than food, which is always good. More in personal, which is expected. Let's see, obviously more than Brock, and you can see here there's $800 more that I spent on him in September. I saved more, which is expected, and then Ryen, I just spent a little bit more. And Ryen, I'm adjusting my budget categories to move into 2023, because now with Ryen and me, you know, I'm watching her and I have to, you know, buy stuff for her and food for her and all the things for kids. I don't have a kid, so I'm learning. And that's definitely meaning that I have to adjust my budget, which is fine. So savings is definitely my #1 priority goal moving forward. And yeah, so here is my October monthly spending comparison.
All right, so that is our full October budget recap. November. Since we are a few months out, we passed November.
Yeah,
we're in December now. We know what's going in November. So November for me was my birthday month. Mm-hmm. I turned 37 on the 15th of November. We spent a week in Cabo. It was fantastic. We love it. It was our yearly, it's something we do every year.
Home, yeah.
It is kind of our second home. We go to the same resort, same everything.
Oh.
Yes. And if you're interested in kind of more information about our Cabo vacations, why we love it so much, how I saved up for it in cash, all these things, I'll make sure to put the article that I wrote 4 years ago. I wrote this article, but it's still relevant because we're still going to the same resort. We're still using the same company to book our travel for it. So I'll go ahead and put that in the description. Other than that, we had our very first Friendsgiving.
That's right.
This year was a hit. We had about 15 people here. Aww. It was amazing. And then we had Thanksgiving, which it was a very small Thanksgiving for us this year. We're going to be getting into all those things in our November budget recap.
Yeah, right. I guess we can't talk too much about it. But yeah. October, I am focusing on...
November?
No, October.
October. What are you doing October? I just went straight November.
I'm trying to bring us back to October. So my biggest thing in October is saving up my emergency fund to bigger. So my debt payoff, I did put, like I said, $450 towards debt, but that's not what I usually put towards. But I'm focusing on my savings because between Ryen and like really, I never knew how much it was to like raise a kid, you know, and how expenses just pop up and it's absurd. Yeah. And like this is the first holiday season, you know, without her mom. So my mom and me and Cody and my brother are trying to like create, you know, like little traditions with her. So that's obviously, you know, money that, you know, it's obviously worth it, but just things that I need to prepare for next year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, me October. I just spent, you saw it. I don't like looking at it. That's that. You know, I don't like looking at it. I mean, $11,000 in travel in October, but it will never be like that again because we usually have the Arizona trip in October. We don't have our honeymoon usually
That's
like
right.
that.
That's kind of what made that so high.
Yeah,
That's
so we'll be back for our November budget recap next week. If you found this video helpful, please like it and don't forget to subscribe. Okay.
It was so bad, Miko.
That's what happened to me, but mine went away.
Nope, I had to go to urgent care twice. I could not close my mouth. Serious.
Just walking around
an ear infection, literally.